On Tammy. I've been looking forward to this segment. I've got to be honest with you because we have Dr. Suzann Okun. I want to make sure I'm Dr. Suzann Okun, right?
That's correct.
All right. You've been a psychologist for over 20 years.
That's correct.
And I like where your focus is, your emphasis, because I think we all really want to be happier, and that's what you're all about. Tell me about Happiness YOUniversity, and what it's all about and how you can achieve more happiness in your life.
Well, Happiness YOUniversity came out of the whole notion that that's what people are always saying, what they want. just want to be happy. And so looking at the research over the last 15 years, in the positive psychology research, we've put it together and there are ways that you can be happier. And we tend to live in a world that gives us ways to not be happy. We hear about it all the time.
Yeah, I was looking at your research, and I believe this. It said 40% of a person's happiness level has to do with how they interpret their lives. So it's all about perspective and how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
How do you change someone? Because I think some folks have a predisposition to kind of being negative. It's something they fight, and it's hard not to be. I think especially if you have challenges in your life. How do you help them with getting around that and starting to feel more positive about themselves?
Well, we have to look at what they're saying to themselves or what they're saying about life, and if they're always going to say things like, I can't do it, then I won't do it. If you can give yourself better self-talk, I can do it, or I'm being more optimistic, and that's one of the things about positive psychology research, is optimism is right there up at the top, that in order for a happy outcome or a better outcome, because we've got to remember everything's not about happiness, it's about life satisfaction, it's about things being okay rather than not okay. It's getting into the positive emotions, not just happiness. So,
you know, but don't you find, doctor, that people who are driven, like yourself, people are driven who want to do well, it's hard for them to find happiness because they always think, I haven't done enough, I haven't achieved enough. A lot of A-type personalities. I would say even folks here at work here at WAVE3, they're always, I think we have the best meteorologist team, the best anchors, but they're always going, we can get better, we can work harder. What do you say to those folks? How do you get them to, with some type of satisfaction that they can feel good about themselves?
Well, what you're looking at is, and what they're looking at is the 10% of that happiness spectrum, that the successful in their work life or success getting better. Here's what we know about when people are achieving well, they tend to adapt to that, or they get a new house or a new car or a new relationship, and then they adapt to it and they want something better. So that's why it's not about that 10%, because we adapt to what we get in our life. Those are our life circumstances.
Well, let's talk about the other 90% then.
Well, 50% of that other 90% is genetics. So we come to this world with our own temperament, with the way we see the world. Then we learn about it from our families of origin. And so there's that nurture part. We got the nature and the nurture. And unfortunately, and that's one of the reasons I'm here and I do the work I do, is because it's what we have to teach our children is how to see the more optimistic way of seeing life, how to be grateful for the things that you have in life already instead of pushing that aside and always going for something else. Because if you keep doing that, you're always in the future, you're never in the now, because you're always there. So now is the only time we feel.
You know, you said something there that really caught my ear, doctor, as you were talking about parenting skills and teaching kids to feel good about themselves. If someone, though, has led a life, and I think a lot of us have, that they were always told they weren't that good, or it's kind of been entrenched in them since childhood. Obviously, we can't do that in one short segment. We change their line of thinking. But is this a long process with someone to get them feeling positive again, doctor?
It's going to be an individual need. I've had people go, aha, you know, and make the change.
Sure.
And say, I don't want to think that way anymore. And that's what I teach in the Happiness Boot Camp particularly, is that looking at your self-talk, and that self-talk often came from your family of origin, you know, what you were told, that's the voice that you live by, and how you want to change that. And those are some of the tools that I give to my participants, is how to pay attention to that, be mindful of it, decide to change it. Now, it's like a habit, and anytime it's automatic. It's a habit, a habitual way of thinking. So anytime you're going to change a habit, You have to decide, number one, what is it you're going to change? You have to put something else in its place, and then you have to practice. Practice, practice, and practice some more until it becomes the automatic way of thinking.
Instead of the old way, you've got a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, because I think a lot of folks, they go for the temporary happiness.
Yeah.
You mentioned the car,
Yeah.
or they say, let me go get my hair done. Okay, you got a hairstylist, you got an accountant that helps you with financial, you've got your boss that helps you with your job satisfaction, but it all stems from really how you feel about yourself. So I think yours is more of an overall healthier approach. I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, I thank you for that, because I think it is a message that we want to get out there, and I think it's really important. Bonnie Ware was a palliative nurse in Australia, and she wrote a book. And in that book, it was the 5 regrets of people dying. She recorded her the regrets of the people she was caring for. And on that list of 5 was I wish that I had let myself be happier. And so that implication that I could do it if I'd let myself.
Ah, that's very revealing.
Yeah.
Because obviously, there's the litmus test.
Yeah.
You're on your deathbed,
Yeah.
and you're like, what do you wish? I
Yeah.
wish, because I did have some things to feel good about, and everyone does.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have let myself feel that emotion.
Right, it's where you put your focus. It's how you decide. It's all about choices. So in the groups that I lead, it's really helping people differentiate between their choices, and that you always have a choice.
Wow, this has been therapeutic. I like it. So how would someone who's watching today say, I want to get started. I want to meet Dr. Okun, and I want to get started. First step, what do they do? There's your information there. Maybe
There's
that's
my
the way to go.
information. That's the way. You give us a call. The telephone number on the screen, 939-2987, or go to the website, send us an email. You can send me a direct email, coachsuzann@gmail.com, and say when do you want to start. And so the groups, I make it so that no one is put on the spot, so that you can actually just sit there and just listen. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, or you can share how this is impacting you and help the group setting. But it's more of a teaching model, because there are some very specific things. So it's not a therapy model. This is about my coaching practice, because as a psychologist and a therapist, I look at recovering. Coaching looks at discovering and deciding the life that you want and moving towards it. And it's hard to do that, and that's what made me really focus on the happiness piece, was if people are not going to move towards their goals if they feel stuck someplace else.
Okay.
And,
Interesting.
Yeah.
You've been very enlightening, very informative, and I encourage you to get a hold of Dr. Okun if you can. You've seen the information there on the screen. There it is right there. Join Happiness U. That's where I want a scholarship. Happiness YOUniversity. Taught over 4 weeks. There's the information. Dr. Okun, thank you very much. Fascinating.
My pleasure.
Really good stuff. We'll be right back on WAVE 3 Listens. Thank you for watching. Aha, here we go. VeggieTales. Easter is here, and if you want an educational experience as well as a family experience, be caller number 3, 888-800-9283, and you will win a very veggie Easter. Third caller wins. Once again, that's 888-800-9283. I want to thank Dr. Okun again. Thank you very much. Can I attend Happiness YOUniversity?
You certainly may. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you and all your callers.
All righty.
And
if anyone would like to join, give her a call, and we'll see you tomorrow on WAVE 3 Listens.